What up, guys? Jay with the Douchebag Brigade back to give you a little more Shin Megami Tensei info and kind of give you some of my thoughts while I drive for work. Anyway, I didn't know how many of you guys were aware of this, but there was a PlayStation English translation patch of Shin Megami Tensei 1, the original, the first SNES or Super Famicom game. There was a PlayStation version, and I know that the Game Boy version of this was recently translated. But the PlayStation version, I have to say, I wasn't really looking to play the original one again. Though I've never beaten the original game, unfortunately. I played it on on a Super Famicom or SNES ROM hack years ago. Got pretty far. This was in college. That computer died, so I kind of gave up on that. And then I think that was around right before that I was playing Nocturne, and so I just kind of went back to that. But then years later, I got the iOS version on my phone. I used to take the train to my job, so I used to play it on the way there. Got really far. Well, I don't know about really far, but I got pretty far. Was beyond the when you go into, I forget if it's a law hero or the female hero's mind. But unfortunately, they stopped doing the update for the iOS update for the game, so I lost that too. Then I played it again on the Super Nintendo hack. Got all the way, got past that, got to where Law Hero dies. Like I did all this. Oh, spoiler, sorry. Doesn't have to, I guess, if you don't do certain things. But anyway, got pretty far. Again, that computer got corrupted, and I've been unable to play it. And now it's been a couple years since I did that, and I saw the PlayStation version, and I thought, all right, maybe I'll give it a chance. And I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised with certain things. The animation of the enemies is definitely updated. The attack animations are updated. Magic animations slightly updated. Definitely the environments are updated. The music sounds a little bit more fluid. I guess the main point is that a lot of people probably would look at it like there's no value to replaying this game. But in my opinion, they'd be wrong, because this game is solid. The main thing is it's hard to go back when you've already gotten so far and you know the story. The translation patch that's here is slightly different than what you're probably already accustomed to. If you've played the SNES version, you know, like the Aeon Genesis one. The translation isn't terrible. It's different. It seems better in some ways, and yet worse in others. The demon names seem to be a little off, and then the representation, like as if they're from the Megami race, things like that. For some reason, a lot of these are from the Corpse race or the Ghost race, and I don't think that was accurate to what we have as actual races within the game, but so that's a little wonky. But other than that, seeing the environments and the textures change is really nice. There are a lot of upgrades from a visual perspective from the Super Nintendo to the PlayStation. But is that worth playing it again? I mean, the battles feel a little less lethargic. It actually feels a little bit more smooth. They've done some changes within the battle mechanics. So if you're on your last demon or character and you're not sure what you want to do and you want to go back because you picked the wrong option, you don't have to start all over. It'll let you just go back from the last character you're pressing back on, which I know seems like nothing, but it really is a nice quality of life change. There's also the auto map function, and I would say the map's a little bit more detailed maybe. You can keep things facing north so you don't have like all the confusion of the map flipping around. There seems to be extra dialogue, a little bit extra maybe images or a little bit of added content, a little bit, very slight. Things definitely look better, like when the chairman, Gateau, is screaming on the giant TV in Tokyo. Like the visual of it looks a lot better, a lot crisper, a lot clearer. The sprite animation is still very PS1. It's not like they didn't add a lot of stuff. Like, they're not a lot of facial changes to the characters. It's still very sprite worky. I would say it looks like maybe there's eyes now on some of the characters that you really don't see the eyes before, which is somewhat a quality of life change. It's definitely better than what it was as far as sprite work, animation, and all of that is concerned. Now, that being said, if you really didn't like the first game or the older games, I would say this is probably still going to be the case. Though it's hard for me to imagine you're an SMT fan or a Megaten fan if you don't like the original game at all. However, I would say this: if you're someone who's like, I can't wait to play either Soul Hackers 1 or Devil Summoner, the original game, this is a lot better. A lot better. I'm sorry, a lot better is the wrong term. It's a lot closer. I don't know why I said better. It's a lot closer in animation style. It feels like you're playing one of those games. It doesn't feel like there's a big change in animation pace. I would love to see a Majin Tensei 1 or 2 on the PlayStation, because those games really push the sprite hardware to the max. So that would be really awesome to see. That being said, that's a bit more of a pipe dream, I'm sure. But that would be incredible, honestly. That being said, I really, really am enjoying this. Now, I don't know if it's going to just wear off, as it sometimes does when you get, into non-stop random battles and get a little exhausted of it. I think that's any RPG. But this seems to be, I'm enjoying it. I feel like the actual evolution of the character capabilities and all of that is better. And what I mean by that is I think they're a little bit more clear on the stats. For some reason, I cannot remember if Wisdom as a stat was in SMT1 on the SNES, or if it was just Magic. But now there's Magic and Wisdom, which I would say kind of actually makes this a little more difficult in some ways. Yet, so far, the battles seem somewhat easier. And I'm playing it on Expert because I heard that regular is kind of like the easy version that they implemented, I suppose. But yeah, no, I'm definitely enjoying the game overall, though. I've gotten to a couple bosses, which again, I find the translation that was done for these bosses to be weird so far. One of them was, I forget the name of the actual name of the boss, but it's one of the first ones that's working when you first get to a terminal, and it calls him something, his Japanese name, and then the superhuman. And I'm like, I don't think that's what he was called on the Aeon Genesis translation, nor do I think that's even remotely accurate. And that's not to say that the Aeon Genesis translation was perfect, but this is really wonky. But that being said, I have to say, this is a really enjoyable game overall, so it's hard for me to really have a complaint to make. Obviously, I find this game to be a great game. All of the SMT games are my favorite games, really, at this point. And I would be pressed to imagine that people wouldn't enjoy it. And I would recommend this over the SNES game. If you've never played it before, this is the way to play it. As far as the animation, the story, and everything else, this is definitely the way to go. So that's my 2 cents on that. Don't be expecting to play SMT5 or Nocturne if those are your introductions. Obviously, this game isn't up to par from certain mechanics. But then again, without any kind of, as much as I would love for there to be an HD remake of this game and adding maybe some sort of battle mechanic from either the typical press turn or obviously the Strange Journey battle mechanic, as I've mentioned a million times, I think that would fit perfectly. The alignment battle system. However, that obviously isn't the case so far, and this is the best way to play it as of right now from what I've experienced. So, you know, get your hands on it. It's in English. Give it a shot. Let me know your opinion. All right. I'm Jay, and I'm out. Oh, sorry if the voice sounds a little off. I'm a little sick. But anyway, hope you magnetites have a good day.